Hey everyone, this is a video response to John K. TechHead. Congratulations, John, on reaching a little over 100 subs. I know it takes a while to get there. It took me a year, and if you just hang in there, you'll get a lot more. Well, I like the questions that you asked for us to respond to. I really love this subject whenever it comes to managing your time and listening to music in the VC and what you do and how do you collect and stuff. So I also want to say that when I make this response, I'm going to be also replying to Robert Z too. I'm going to work Robert in there because I saw his response video to you and I liked some of the things he was talking about. Well, to start with, one of the first questions you asked, John, was how do you listen to music and how do you manage your inbox? Well, it's funny about an inbox. I don't know if I have an inbox per se. I mean, you might say my entire collection is an inbox. And what do I mean by that? I mean that, unfortunately, I do a lot more buying than I do listening. And that's not to say that I don't listen to records at all. I do, but I don't make nearly enough time to listen to the music as I should. I seem to enjoy the thrill of the hunt, getting out there and finding a good buy, maybe for a good price, and a beautiful cover and beautiful condition of a record, and adding it to my collection. And if I have an inbox, a lot of times it's an inbox on the side, basically where I'm compiling albums that I intend to show here in my VC videos. So that's it for the inbox. I really have to make more of an effort. Robert Z said in his video response, he's more of a collector rather than what he calls a gatherer. There are some people that are gatherers, and I don't know if that's the right word, but Robert, I know what you meant by that. You know, I understood, you know, and I'm afraid that at times, although I'm a collector, there's no doubt about it. I collect the Beatles, as you know. Anybody who watches my channel knows I have all kinds of Beatles vinyl, and my goal is to buy any kind of Beatles vinyl. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's on vinyl, I'd like to have everything ever released, at least one copy of, from different countries, and bootlegs and rarities and things like that. As many as I can get. It's not really possible to own everything, but as many as I can get, I will. So I'm a collector of certain things like the Beatles, but I'm also a gatherer to some degree. And I try not to be, you know, that's the important thing. I try only to buy things that I think are going to really be items I want in my collection. I don't buy anything I don't want. I like to think that even if somebody was nice enough to give me a box of like 100 records, that I wouldn't keep them all just because they're free, you know what I mean? If I'm not going to use them, or they have no value for me personally or enjoyment, why do I want them just because they're cheap or they're there, you know? So I don't hoard records in that regard. But yeah, inbox, yeah, there's a lot of inbox stuff in the sense that a lot of my stuff isn't listened to, and I got to get better managing that. Another question that came up was, do you listen to the full album or a little at a time? Well, the way that goes is that I, generally speaking, am a purist, and I believe that the idea is to treat a record album just kind of like you would treat any kind of work of art, or like watching a Broadway play or something. It has, especially if it has a theme to it, you're supposed to, in theory, which I subscribe to, play the whole album. Play the first song, listen to every track, then take a break, flip the record over, and we start the second act, if you will. Act 1 and Act 2. That's really the way it should be. But as I get older and I have more time that I have to try to manage, I find that certain things I don't mind putting on in the background now and then, like if it's instrumental stuff, if I collect like instrumental music, or I've been into some honky-tonk piano records that I found recently, I don't mind listening to that. I'll play some records when I'm shaving. I could be in the bathroom, you know, going through a shave there, and the door is right open of the bathroom, and the living room is right there with the stereo, so I can hear it. I prefer to sit right there and just sit back or lay back and drink it all in. But there are times when I don't mind, you know, just listening to whatever through whether I'm washing dishes, and whether I'm getting ready to take the garbage out. You know, certain things I don't mind just listening to in the background. There's even times where I'll find that I play one side of a record, and then maybe the next day or a few hours later, I'll go flip it over and play the second side, which is something I don't really condone, but I'm not beyond doing that if I have to once in a while. Next question really was about having enough time to listen to everything. And John, you wanted to know, do you play an album, say, 1 time or 20 times? Well, that's an interesting subject, and it's one that I've spoken about here before. It doesn't seem to be enough hours in a day, or days in a week, or months in a year, or years in a lifetime to do everything you want to do. As I always say too, in addition to being into music, I'm a big movie fan, and I own about 1,200, I'm going to say, movies. So I don't get those on all the time either. It's kind of like a little frightening in a way when you think how the years are advancing. I mean, none of us knows how long we have here to live, right? I mean, you can pass away at 1 year old, 10 years old, 20, or you can live to 100. We don't know. But one thing's for sure, once you're fortunate enough to live into your 40s or 50s or 60s, you start then, without choice, becoming aware that time is running out. Whether you want to confront it or not, or focus on it, and I try not to, but it's always lingering in the back there. Like, I'm going to be 52 this year, and I think to myself, well, how many more good years do I have left? When I say good years, I mean, I could live to be 95, but be a vegetable, God forbid. But I mean, how many years of clarity? Let's suppose I'm going to live another 25 years. Maybe that's not allowing myself enough, but let's suppose I live to 77. That's 25 more years. And let's suppose those are years that are going to be very alert and sharp and able to enjoy everything. And right now, I don't have many records. I don't even think I have more than 500 or 600 records right now. But let's suppose you're somebody out there who has a massive collection. And let's suppose you have 7,000 to 7,500 records. Now let's suppose out of a calendar year, 365 days, let's knock off 65 days that you don't listen to music. Let's say you're on vacation or something. So let's just say there's 300 days out of every year where you do listen to music, and you have to make it a religious experience to make sure you play one album a day. If you play one album a day, every day for 300 days of the year, and you have 7,500 albums, you will only be able to play every album 1 time. Just once. That almost seems like crazy. Like, why would we own 7,500 records if we're not going to get them on more than once? Well, I'm running out of time, so wait for part 2.